Hey everybody, Mike Molina. Happy Friday. Hope you had a great week. I certainly did. Lots of great news to share, and I'm very excited to get into this with you. So I want to tell you that the message that we need to get out is to tell people we really need to push this hard. Act now. Act now, because rates are coming down, and they're going to start coming down significantly. The time that we've been talking about is finally here, and homes are continuing to appreciate. So we've got to get this message out. Act now before you miss the boat. So first up, we have new home construction. Some moderately good news. Permits and home starts are up. Construction, new homes being started, constructed is more or less flat. Completions are down about 4.6% month over month. That has to do with a lot of different things, but it's not really positive or negative. I would say that it's positive for this reason, because we know that the reason that there is no bubble, that the news media and everybody else that likes to get people all worked up for likes and clicks on social media, for their social media clout, that the reason that there's no bubble, there's no crash, is because basic supply and demand. The demand is far outpacing the supply. And how does that work? So you've hopefully recognized this chart. This is something that I've shown several times before. What we have here are housing units completed versus new household formations. And just to recap, a household formation is, for example, you have, a nuclear family. A kid turns 18, he decides to move out. So that was one household, mom, dad, and the kid moves out. He's got his own household. That is a new household formation. Where there was one, now there are two. Okay, that's all there is to it. So if you look here, this orange line tracks all the new household formations. These are annualized numbers. Okay, as of September this year, we are on pace for an annualized household formation rate of 1.926 million, basically 2 million new household formations per year. These are new people entering the market that need a place to live, whether that's an apartment that needs to be built, or a house that needs to be built, or a duplex, or whatever. They need some-place to live, okay? Here, this blue line are housing units completed. This is single-family homes, condos, apartments. Whatever, if somebody can live in it, it's included in that number. And this is also annualized, and you can see that as of September 2023, this year, we were on pace to have 1.45 million housing units completed. In other words, we have a deficit of over 500,000 units for all the people entering the housing market in some form or fashion. Not necessarily mean they're going to buy a house, but they need some place to live. Okay, this is what's driving the demand. Okay, because when you have a whole lot of people that want a very scarce product, the price goes up, and that's why there's no crash. And this is what they just don't get on the news. So now, as you probably know from this week, if you've been watching my Mortgage Minute, the Federal Reserve has not raised the rate, and the market is loving it, and there is now talk of them cutting rates as soon as March. So rates have been coming down because inflation is coming down. This is the third week in a row we've seen. This is the Freddie Mac Primary Mortgage Market Survey, and for the third week in a row, they've come down. Last week we closed out at 7.44% for a 30-year fixed. All right, so how do we construct the narrative? We have to help people understand the cost of them not buying something right now. They understand the cost of acting now, but they don't understand the cost of waiting. So the cost of acting now, okay, is obvious. You're going to need a down payment, you're going to need to pay closing costs, and you're going to have a mortgage payment that is probably higher than the rent you're currently paying. That at first blush sounds bad, but what are you missing out on if you don't act now? If you wait, well, you're going to miss out on equity, a growing appreciation, paying down the home, that's amortization, and the home is going to cost you a whole lot more as time goes on, okay? And that sounds very esoteric, maybe hard to put on paper and numbers, but not really. We actually have a tool for that. I know you're surprised, but we really do, and it's called the cost of waiting tool. Now, this is actually one single document. It's kind of long. It's a beautiful graphic. I've broken it down into 3 slides so I can share it with you. I'm not going to go over every little thing. This is going to be super quick. I just want to highlight a few things. So this compares the cost of getting a loan today, conventional loan, purchase price for $500,000 with just 5% down. The cost of buying today, the cost if they wait 6 months to buy, the cost if they wait 1 year, wait 2 years, and wait 3 years, just like that. You can see here the rate starts at 7% for a 30-year fixed. In 6 months, we anticipate rates will probably be somewhere around 6.5%. 1 year from now, about 6%. And of course, the monthly payment is lower as the rate comes down, at least for 6 months and 1 year. But you'll see very quickly that the payment is actually higher if they wait for 2 years or more. And I'm going to show you why. All right. So this is a graph of the appreciation of the property. All right. So buying right now, right out the gate, the home starts to appreciate and it doesn't stop. We're using a very conservative appreciation rate of around 5%, right? Okay. Now right here, this shows their payments if they buy right now. So they're going to have a payment right about here. If they buy right now, if they wait 6 months, their payment will be down here. It'll be lower. And that's, oh, well, that's good. Maybe they should wait. No, you'll see why. And if they wait a year, well, the payment will be way down here. Well, then they really should wait. No, you'll see why. Then after, if they wait 2 years or 3 years, the payments out the gate start higher. The reason that is, okay, is because while at first glance it appears that it might be worth them waiting for 6 months or a year because the payments start lower, that's just the monthly payment itself. That is not how much it actually is going to cost them in the grand scheme of things. So if they wait 6 months, yeah, their monthly payment will be lower, but because they've lost appreciation by waiting 6 months and they've lost paying down the loan because they waited 6 months, because they paid less for it by buying now as opposed to waiting 6 months, so they paid the loan down that much more because they bought it cheaper and they're making payments, so you lose out on both that appreciation and the amortization, paying it down. So waiting 6 months will cost them $17,000. If they wait a year, same thing, appreciation and amortization, they'll be losing out on $34,000. 2 years, $63,000, and if they wait to buy until for 3 years from now, they're going to lose out on $93,000, for example. And this doesn't even take into account refinancing into a low rate if they buy now. This is just, hey, out the gate, get 7% and stuck with it for a whole 30 years, which we know is not the case. Okay, so this next slide breaks down the cost of both by as amortization and appreciation. Same information I just showed you, but shows it in a little bit different way. One additional piece of information that I think is really good to see is the additional cash required by waiting to buy 6 months, a year, 2 or 3 years. Because as we know, many closing costs are based off of the purchase price and the loan amount of a given home. Well, by waiting 6 months, or a year, or 2 years, or 3 years, they'll pay this much more in closing costs because they'll be paying more for the home. So that is also another consideration. Okay, so that is a great narrative, a very effective visual aid. You can take a deeper dive into it. I can do this for you for any property anywhere in the country. So if you have a specific property in mind, or you just want a certain area, a county, a city, or even an entire state, I can do one of these for you. Very accurate data, very visually pleasing, and you can make a great conversation with your prospects and clients about why now is the best time to buy. So that's it for today. If you have any questions about anything I went over, please don't hesitate to reach out to me anytime. I'm more than happy to prepare one of these for you, or as many of these for you as you like, for any area that you like. And remember, all of these slides are available for download by clicking the button below the video in the email that you received, or as you're watching on YouTube, in the description below the video on YouTube, there's a link where you can download the slides as well. If you wouldn't mind, please be sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and have a wonderful day. Take care.